It's 2 hours before we're going to get to the supercharger. Why would it need to precondition already? See, it has no problems getting over to the left lane. It has a problem getting back over to the right lane. So windshield wipers are going crazy. All indications were that it's turning left. No, no, no. Go up to the light. No, no, no. No, no, no. So good morning, everybody. I got a software update last night. It added this lovely thing where it now tells me the temperature at each one of my destinations instead of just at the final destination. It's kind of cool. Today I've got a new facility that I'm going to, and it is so far away, it is going to be the only thing I do today. It is 117 miles away. It'll take me an hour and 47 minutes to get there. I have to double that because I have to come right back. So 234 miles total today. About 3 hours of driving. Fun, fun. I'm going down to a city called Coldwater. I'm leaving at 76% battery state of charge, which means the car wants me to go down there and then come up to Marshall and charge for 5 minutes and then come back home. So that's what we're doing today. Of course, it's nice and rainy. It's supposed to rain all day today and all day tomorrow. So we're going to have some fun. Hope you guys enjoy the ride. As far as the release notes, FSD did not change. I had 13.2.8 previously. In fact, I think I got it last week sometime. So that hasn't changed. The minor updates, I don't know what those are, just bug fixes. Third-party fast charger preconditioning. So they've added a few fast chargers that you can go to that are not Tesla superchargers, and the car will still precondition for it. That's kind of cool. Hands-free trunk opening on Android. I'm thankful for that because I have Android. iPhones have had that forever, and now Android is finally getting into the mix. My phone has ultra wideband on it, so that's something that I can take advantage of. Rear cross traffic chime. So before just like this, it's red there. When you're in reverse, the side of the window where a vehicle was coming from would turn red, just like the turn signal does if there's a car in your blind spot. But it didn't make any noise. So if you're one of the people that still looks behind them to back up, you wouldn't know. So they've added a chime. So it's going to make noise now, and that's beautiful. Minor updates. Weather information is now displayed for both the final destination and the waypoints in your route's turn-by-turn list, which is pretty awesome. I really appreciate that. Some game got upgraded. Minor fixes to performance enhancements have been applied. And then this includes some security fixes and improvements. So that's all that I can see that's different. I'll take advantage of the hands-free trunk, and I'll really enjoy looking at the weather for each one of my stops because I make long trips. So the weather is kind of important to see everywhere that I'm going. So that's amazing. Wheel press because I'm driving in the fast lane, and there's a car riding my bum bum doing 79, and they want to go faster. There was nobody beside me, nobody in front of me. This car would have been just fine if it got over on its own. I might count that as 2 wheel touches because I pressed the button to get over and the car said, no, screw that. Turned off the blinker, so I had to press it again. The car's already preconditioning. What the hell? We're looking at, it's an hour and a half to get to the facility. It's another half an hour to get to the supercharger. It's 2 hours before we're going to get to the supercharger. Why would it need to precondition already? That's kind of wild. Only thing I can think of is it's trying to drain some of the battery since we're supposed to get there. We were going to get there at 22%. Now it's at 20. Come on, man. So that's 2, technically 3 wheel touches. This Sentra was going 67 in the 70. I know it says 60, but the speed limit's 70. And it was just, the Tesla was just sitting behind it doing 67. So I got us over into this lane. Car sped up to 80, passed them just fine. We've got a left curve coming up. And I just want to 100% make sure the car is going to stay in the middle of the lane, not go over to the right. This is a very weak sauce curve, but it doesn't matter. Any curve like this on 13.2.2 would have pushed me all the way to the right side of the lane, and it stayed dead center. I love that. So we're not preconditioning any longer. It does say I'll get there at 15%, and now it wants me to charge for 7 minutes. Passing a semi. We are dead centered. I love it. Passing another semi. We'll probably, oh man, 3 in a row. Can't get much better than that. Except if this van was out of the way. But other than that, yeah. Dead center. It's wonderful. And third semi. Dead center. Actually, we're a little over to the left this time. That's pretty good. Hop up here. Set my max to 75. Car's getting over. Smooth, like I wasn't doing 81 a second ago. Back up to 85. All's well. It's only illegal if you get caught, right? So this time, Tesla decided to pass on the right all on its own. I'm not surprised by that, but I am surprised that it got over and then slowed down to 79. Preconditioning again. We're still an hour and 15 minutes away from that supercharger. According to the car, it doesn't know how long I'm going to stop at the facility. I still think it's too early for it to be doing this. Because we're using 316 watt hours per mile. A few videos ago, we were using 225 while it was around the same temperature. I don't think I've ever seen a car preconditioned that early. I think the earliest I've ever seen is 1 hour. And that was in the middle of like a cold snap. I believe it was negative 20 wind chill out there, dude. So even with the windshield covered, it's staying in the center of the lane. I love that. I love it. And we got over to this lane. Beautiful. Nicely done. As soon as we passed, we got over because there is someone behind us. Getting back over because they didn't decide to pass. Tesla did the right thing there. So the windshield wipers start going faster when we hit the exit. So it wants to make sure it's doing that right. I'll give it props for that. I guess it's like I can see when I'm going straight, but if I'm deviating, I need to be able to see better. I'd probably do the same thing. So the car set its max to 70. And it's giving me a full self-driving may be degraded because one or more side cameras are occluded. But it's 75 now. But it's not saying anything about speed limited because of poor weather. Now it is. But that's only because I tried to speed it up. So vision only strikes again. And apparently it just got worse. Even though the rain isn't coming any harder. The off spray from this semi in front of us is what's causing it. But in that case, we should just get past him. Which I'm going to step on the accelerator and force to happen. And it's yelling at me, I need to roll up to increase the max speed. But you don't want that. So now I'm going to let it do what it wants to do. And maybe it'll realize it's clearer and it can do a faster speed. Nope. Car said, not today, Satan. It's not even raining that hard, is the crazy thing about it. Side cameras are included. They're jumping around. The back camera looks like the back camera usually looks, but we even have the left camera doing it. So who knows what those pillar cameras are looking like. And we need to get over because there's a car behind us. So that is the fourth wheel touch. See how fast they're going? And them. Again, we need to get over. Fifth wheel press. Right front fender camera blocked or blinded. Right front fender. It does not like it that it bounces around like this. This is the kind of thing that should have been solved with engineering. You're good, bro. Sixth wheel touch. And it's because the car won't change lanes on its own because of those fender cameras. See, it has no problems getting over to the left lane. It has a problem getting back over to the right lane. And again, we're about to take the exit. The windshield wipers sped up. I don't know if that's because it wants to see better or because it's raining harder. Stupid rain. Being all stupid and rainy. Anyway, that was 119 miles. Took me an hour and 45 minutes, which is pretty much what I was guessing. I got here at 22%. I don't remember what it said I was going to get here at, but it was preconditioning the whole way. Just cray cray. I was going to get to the supercharger at 22%. Now it's 13. If that tells you anything. So I was probably going to get here at 31%. Just to guess. I'm going to set this back to 10 because that's where I enjoy it. And yeah, that was that. Other than the rain and the cameras being included, that was a pretty good drive. Anyway, I'm going to knock this place out. I'll be back in just a sec. About a 45-minute stop. Not too bad. I'm sitting at 22%. Supercharger is 26 minutes away, 25 miles. I'll get there at 13%. So off we go. Look at those beautiful clear cameras. Won't be as soon as the water starts hitting it, though. For conditions, max speed is set to 70. I cannot change it. I could drop it down to autopilot, and it probably wouldn't give me that kind of an issue. If I do, I can't go back to FSD unless I pull over. Shoulder's big enough, why not? So I can't change it while I'm using it. So I will get us out, and then I will go down. I'll click that. Oh, you're not going to let me in at all? That's no fun. What if I slow down? Oh no. I have to drive manually? That's no fun. I could go down to traffic aware cruise control. All right, I'm going to pull over. Wow, I had the blinker on and everything. That's hilarious. Okay. First thing I want to do is look at the cameras. Front wide, left door pillar, left fender, that's kind of blurry, right door pillar, right fender, that's blurry, rear view, it's blurry. I don't see the problem. Will not let me engage. So windshield wipers are going crazy. They're set to auto. They don't need to be going that fast. If it won't let me engage autopilot, even if I put it back in FSD, it won't let me engage. It is not even, it's sprinkling. The wipers are doing too much. I'm going to turn them off. And I'll set them back to auto. And they immediately start flying. It's not raining anymore. Okay, it slowed down. Okay, it's sprinkling. But I still can't engage. Cameras are looking blurry still. That's looking better. Windshield wipers haven't gone off in a while. But I still cannot engage. Oh, that looks pretty clear. That looks pretty clear now. But it still won't let me engage. If I turn the defroster on. Yeah, those cameras are clear. Come on. So I'm going to drop it down to traffic aware cruise control. Car must be in park. I can't even do that. Well, I'm going to get us to the supercharger because it's 4.5 miles away. Not worth pulling over again. Shouldn't have messed with it in the first place. I guess that little section was brought to you by all the haters in the comments saying that I don't know how to drive. You tell me. They put these in a nice location, well away from the front door, so they're less likely to get iced. That was wild, though. I put FSD back on, Camera visibility, I have no issues. But camera preview, for anybody that wanted to see what I look like, this is me. Here's the main camera. Looks fine. Wide. Looks fine. Left pillar. Looks fine. Left fender. Any day now. Left fender looks fine. Right pillar. Looks fine. Right fender. Looks foggy. Rear. Looks fine. This is odd sauce. So maybe whatever the issue was is fixed, and I will not do that again in the future. Because, wow. Anyway, I'm going to get this charge done and over with. I'll be back in a sec. All set charging. That wasn't too bad. Says I can start FSD Supervised, so I'm assuming everything's fixed now. And I'm just going to press the button and go. I did add a stop at the mall because I got an errand to do that I forgot about. So we'll go there first, and then we'll go home. All right, off we go. Wow. Going before it was even sure that car was turning left. I mean, it was going nice and slow, so all indications were that it's turning left. No. Go up to the light. There we go. I don't know why I was going to cut through the parking lot like that. FSD was going to cut through a parking lot instead of turning at the light like it should. All right, 1 hour and 18 minutes to go 86 miles. I'll get there at 13%. I'm sitting at 50% right now. Excellent job slowing down, letting them come in. Excellent job of that. Even in hurry mode, that was very nice. There you go. That's a good decision reversal. The car was going to go over to the right to pass, but the blue car decided it was going to come over. The car hadn't started its lane change yet, so it just canceled the blinker and stayed where it was. Correct choice. FSD was not going to let a semi into the non-passing lane. So the car is not preconditioning. I've been using 268 watt hours per mile instead of the 312, and it is more efficient. So instead of getting to Coles at 12 or 13%, it now says I'll get there at 21%. I mean, it's got to do what it's got to do, but part of the problem with its guesstimator is it bases it on the last 200 miles that you've driven. And the last 200 miles I drove were preconditioning miles, which meant that it was way less energy efficient than it would have been without the preconditioning, which means that it couldn't guess arrival state of charge as accurately as it could if it wasn't preconditioning for 2.5 hours or whatever it was supposed to be. Yikes, man. Phantom braking. Somebody tailgating me. They had to slam on their brakes. That was fantastic. Person's still tailgating me, so I'm going to get over and let them pass. They've got a handicap placard in their hanging from the rearview mirror. Makes me wonder if that's how they became handicapped. So that is 2 disengagements and 1 wheel press. See, I'm not going to Coles, but I'm using the entrance by Coles. So I'm going to have to take over here in a sec. But that leg of the journey, I did 2 disengagements and 1 wheel press. Disengagements. The car pulled in front of a semi. Sorry, the car changed lanes behind a semi. And then the semi wanted over, and the car wasn't going to let him in. The first one, that was the second one. The first one was The car should have turned right at the light, but it was going to turn into a parking lot instead. And the wheel press, I wanted to get out of the passing lane for someone that was tailgating me. That was it. We were supposed to get here at, I believe, 13%, but we're here at 21. So that was an 8% mess up, which, whatever. Sentry mode currently unavailable, insufficient charge. I'm at 21%. It should be unavailable at 20. So I wonder if they changed something else. That would be disappointing if that's the case. I'm going to run in here, handle my business, and I'll be right back. I don't know if I can't read today or what, but could have swore that said I'd get to Kinney Car Wash at 13%. Whatever. It says 18 now. It's going to try to back up. No, I figured it out. All right. So it was confused about the car in front of it, so it couldn't go forward, so it tried to go backwards, and then it figured that out. So good for it. I did press that button specifically at that time just to see what would happen. Now we know. Anyway, I'm off to home. So let's see how many times I have to touch the wheel or press the pedal or whatever. Difficult to see. There's a big mound of snow. If there's no car there, it can go. Yeah, it's fine. No. One disengagement. There were two cars coming. One was obscured. FSD was going to go without making sure that it was clear. School speed zone. That light is flashing. We should be doing 25. It's not going to. Maybe I'm crazy about this, but I think Tesla needs to focus more on reading signs. See, it's not flashing, so now it's okay. But reading signs should be the priority for Tesla, and fixing their speed issues. Many times we go through speed zones going from a higher speed to a lower speed, and the car doesn't adjust its max. Like right now, it should be 35, but it's doing 39. And if I scroll this up and down, it was set to 42. It's still set to 42. It should have set itself to 35, which would have forced the car to slow down. But it's not doing that. It should be doing that. And it should be reading signs like no passing zone or speed zone ends, or figure out when you're in a school zone, especially if it tells you what times you're in the school zone, like school speed limit in effect from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. or whatever the sign might say. But the car should be able to read that and do it. And when speed zone ends, it should know that the speed limit is now universally in America, it's 55. It should just know that kind of stuff. It should be able to read that kind of stuff. And I really feel like things like that should have been fixed a long time ago. It should have been a core part of FSD. And its max is still at 42. So yeah, if the car wanted to, it could go up to 42 miles an hour in a 25 mile an hour speed zone. That is unacceptable. Let me know what you guys think. If you notice that your max speed is not set correctly, especially when you're going from a higher speed limit to a lower speed limit zone, and you notice it doesn't change like it should, just pop it in the comments. Let me know how it is. Am I making this up? Is this just my car? Let me know. So now we're in a 50. Well, we're about to be in a 55. I'll see if it's set to 77 right after this. But the fact that it's going above 42 tells me that the max speed has been changed. So it doesn't seem to have a problem changing the max speed up. It's just changing the max speed down that it has an issue with. So we're in the 55, and the max speed is set to 77. Okay. So this lane ends. Car figured it out. And so today we drove about 239 miles. We used 292 watt hours per mile. The reason for that is most of the time we were preconditioning to get the battery up to a good temp so we could charge at a supercharger. The last 6 miles since we left the mall, we've used 224 watt hours per mile. So there's a huge difference between regular driving and preconditioning. It uses so much more energy to precondition the battery. It's kind of wild. Since we charged, I've used 243 watt hours per mile. So even the highway driving and the short distance, it's still way better than preconditioning. Part of owning a Tesla, I guess. So we had a couple of wacky situations. The car was going to turn into a parking lot instead of at the light like it should have. The car was going to go when it wasn't safe because it couldn't see the second car behind the first car, which means we could have gotten into a wreck. And then it was trying to pass a semi on the right, which in Michigan you kind of have to do because people like to camp in the passing lane. But the semi put its lights on, its blinker on, saying it wanted to come over to our lane, and we should have let it and just gotten back into the passing lane. So I had to disengage that too. Other than that crazy stuff, it was a pretty boring drive. Except for when it's in the rain, but we all know that that's an issue. So like it if you liked it. You can dislike it if you did. You can share it to somebody if you think they'll like it. And if you really liked it, you could subscribe to see more. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, you can just put them down below and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Deuces. That was the fastest blinker I've ever seen.